Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Off-Road Update. The 2025 GNCC season headed to its fourth round of 13, the Camp Coker Bullet GNCC in Society Hill, South Carolina. Known for its sandy soil on top of a hard base, the venue always leaves riders guessing as to what the right setup is to run for 3 hours of battle. At Morey Sportsman Preserve, at the wave of the checkered flag, we were left with a fourth winner in 4 rounds. When the green flag waved for the XC1 field, it was a mad dash toward corner number 1. Emerging out of the fray and grabbing the hole shot into turn 2 was 2023 champion Craig DeLong aboard his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. Following across the stripe was Racecraft Off-Road's Thad Duvall, Ampro Yamaha's Caleb Russell, teammate Liam Draper, and FMF KTM's Johnny Gerard. Around the 5-mile mark of lap number 1, it was the New Zealand rookie Liam Draper emerging with a sizable lead over the rest of the field. The dusty conditions hampering the visibility for the riders behind. Caleb Russell came through in second with hole shot winner DeLong in third. Phoenix Honda's Mike Wachowski made quick passes early to come through in fourth, with Duvall rounding out the top 5. Ben Kelly came through next on his KTM, with Gerard a few seconds behind. Lennon Snodgrass checked in next on his Husqvarna, while Ricky Russell on a brand new Triumph 450 was ahead of Talladega winner Stu Baylor rounding out the top 10. Josh Strang, Evan Smith, and Ryder Lafferty rounded out the field. 4 miles later into the opening lap, Draper still controlled the number 1 position. After multiple podiums to close out 2024 in the XC1 class, the Kiwi had struggled through the opening rounds and had yet to land on the podium. Russell and DeLong still held spots 2 and 3, while Wachowski and Kelly had dispatched Duvall to round out the top 5. Gerard still ran 7th with Ricky Russell, Baylor, and Snodgrass rounding out the top 10 with Strang, Lafferty, and Smith close behind. Two miles into the second lap, and Draper still held the point position with a comfortable lead. Behind him came Caleb Russell with a hard-charging Ben Kelly on his rear wheel. Wachowski ran 4th with Duvall moving ahead of DeLong to take over 5th. Gerard ran 6th ahead of Ricky Russell and Stu Baylor, the front 8 riders establishing a breakaway from the rest of the field. At the 10-mile mark, Draper had a 20-second lead over new second-place rider Ben Kelly. The 2021 champion, after a string of injuries, was looking like the rider that won him the title 4 years prior. Caleb Russell still ran 3rd as Wachowski, Duvall, and Gerard had closed in on the 8-time champ ahead of them. DeLong, Ricky Russell, and Baylor were next. At the beginning of lap 3, the gap had gone from over 25 seconds at one point down to just 5. Kelly closing the gap on the Yamaha rider Draper. Moving up to 3rd was Wachowski, with Duvall up to 4th, and Ricky Russell moving into 5th. Caleb Russell, meanwhile, had dropped down the order and ran 6th. Gerard was hot on his heels in 7th, with Baylor just behind. DeLong had slipped back to 9th, with Evan Smith rounding out the top 10. Just before the completion of lap 3, and it was Ben Kelly making the pass on Draper to take over the number 1 position. The Connecticut native was feeling healthy and putting on a charge to pull away from the rest of the field. Draper was 2nd as Duvall moved to 3rd ahead of Wachowski heading into the finish, with Ricky Russell rounding out the top 5. Nearing the end of lap 4, and it was Kelly still out in front, with Draper still camped on the back of his rear wheel. Moving all the way to 3rd was the Red Bear Kawasaki of Stu Baylor, displacing several riders on the previous lap. Wachowski and Ricky Russell still rounded out the top 5, with Caleb Russell off the back in 6th. Craig DeLong ran 2nd. Duvall, meanwhile, went over the bars near the 2-mile mark and would not finish the race. Evan Smith would come through in the 8th position. Early into the final lap of action, and Draper was still hounding Kelly for the lead, not letting the KTM rider off the hook. Baylor was all alone in 3rd, while Wachowski had moved back into 4th at the expense of Ricky Russell. Caleb Russell rounded out the top 5. For the first time since 2023, the checkered flag was waving for Ben Kelly as he would cross the finish line over 20 seconds clear of Liam Draper. Stu Baylor would take third in XC1 for the day, with Mike Mikowski and Caleb Russell rounding out the top 5. Josh Strang on his Liqui Beta finished 6th ahead of Evan Smith and Craig DeLong, with Ricky Russell and Lyndon Snodgrass rounding out the top 10.
Well, you had to work for that one again, and even after you got into the lead, and which was towards the end of lap 3, you still had to put time in on Grant to get that overall, because he was there all day, but good ride.
Yeah. Took me a few laps to get into the lead, but man, I was aggressive, I was fast, I was feeling good in the open stuff, and that's the only place you can make passes out here, so I made sure I was pinning it, sending it. Paddle tire was working good out there, and yeah, eventually got into the lead, but Liam was right on me literally the whole race, like 4 laps or whatever, and Grant had us on corrected time, but I just kept pushing, and Liam was pushing me the entire time, and yeah, I just had to fight hard. I was tired. That was hard. I was dazing off out there, but just kept pushing it, man. Wanted to get lazy, but just kept pushing it, and yeah, I wanted that win. It sucked to do all that work, be so close after leading, and get second or third. It could have happened so easily, but just kept grinding it out, and finally got that overall.
First overall of the year, second overall of the year, but then
First,
yeah. But you extended the points lead by 9 over Grant, so
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of consistent, except that third round, with bike issues and just not capitalizing. So, I mean, I wasn't happy with the points. I was second overall, but like seriously, I wasn't happy. And you got to win if you want to get a gap. So, just fought for it. Wanted to win so bad. Haven't won in like 2 years, but yeah, finally getting healthy. Bike's finally feeling good. I felt like I could ride out there and put the bike where I wanted, so I was sick. Could pin it and everything. So yeah, good day, good win, good points, and try again in 2 weeks at a new round for me. Thanks.
Thank you for watching, everyone. Round 5 of the 2025 GNCC season heads to Monterey, Tennessee this weekend, April 12th and 13th, for the Old Gray GNCC. I'll see you guys there.